Audio test check 1 2 1 2.
Okay, good morning, folks. A couple minutes out. We do have chairs up front. If you start moving in, we appreciate it. Okay, good morning, folks. Good morning. Buddy Bloxham, Plans Chief for the park incidents, August 4th. This is your operational briefing. Please silence these cell phone, sidebar conversations so we can keep moving. As far as the incident objectives and management objectives, no changes. Those can be found on page 1. Night operations, Sean Norman.
Good morning. It was a successful shift due part to the work that was done by the firefighters and the help from the weather. That cool, showery weather kept a lid on things and allowed us to make a lot of progress. I'll start down in branch 5. At the heel of the fire, a lot of it's in patrol status right now. We're going in and doing some make safe, but mostly just looking for hazard trees and getting really deep mop up. Over into branch 10, along here in the valley, going into the Tehama zone, deep mop up in some areas are 1,000 feet in, trying to turn those properties back over to the property owners with no hazards. Up into branch 12, the problem area is that finger that poked out, and they found some heat in there with the UAS, so they're still digging some of that out. It's a tough piece of ground. They're in direct and had some good luck using that UAS to help with them being successful. Coming around into branch 15. And branch 15 has a lot of good direct line that went in. It was a tough firefight. They brought some retardant in yesterday. They did find a lot of heat in Tango, Quebec, so they're working to hold on to all that line. They were successful in doing that. The other part of their project is bringing line to parallel the Mill Creek, so they worked on that yesterday, and they're trying to come down and meet up with Branch 18. Branch 18 had a good, successful shift in improving their lines. They were able to go out and put some direct line to cut out some of the plantations and keep them out of where the fire may come up out of Mill Creek. So that was very successful in there. Branch 20, the slop over into Butte Meadows is looking good, still held at 120 acres, no issues. They did open up Butte Meadows to the public, so there's more traffic going up Humboldt Road. And they did have some heat down in Deer Creek that they worked on and found 2 spots outside the line that were very small, but still significant that they were outside the line. They also were working along the Kilo and Lima lines up there to improve the mop-up along that road system. And then finally down into Branch 25, kind of turning some of that into patrol status. A lot of work going on in that Cohasset area as well, infrastructure work, tree removal, to return that community to normalcy. Have a good shift.
And weather, Jeff Tonkin.
Good morning. Big difference between this morning and what we saw yesterday morning. We lost a lot of cloud cover. We lost almost all our cloud cover. We lost a lot of smoke. And we're going to see a lot of sunshine today. And with that sunshine, it's going to be a lot warmer, getting close to 100 degrees across the entire perimeter. But it's a dry heat. And this afternoon, with all that sunshine, expect perhaps a little bit of more mixing and put the potential of seeing some increased in your afternoon up canyon, up drainage winds, generally, especially with along slopes where you have slopes or ridges where you have that south or southeast aspect. Again, very hot and dry. Are seeing a little bit of an increase in south winds across the North Valley here today. That might squeak a little bit into the west side of the perimeter or northwest side, perhaps seeing some gust in the lower 20s on that side. But in general, the winds today will be very light and still out of the south, but again, keep an eye out for those a little bit gustier afternoon train winds.
Fire behavior, Brian Newman.
Okay, good morning. So as you heard, this is a pretty clear air day today. This is the clearest air that we've had in a number of days. So what that's going to mean for us is we're going to have a lot more sun on the fire and a lot more sun on the fuels. So even though we had some moisture out there yesterday and increased humidities, overall, don't expect that to be the driver to keep things moderated. We will expect more activity. Just as an example, yesterday as the cloud cover broke in the afternoon, 45 minutes later of clear air, we were getting active torching in the timber. So today you're starting off with clear air and sun on the fuel, so you can expect to see some increased activity compared to the last couple of days. So anywhere that you have some heat that's in there, branch 12, branch 15, branch 18, things that are in those heavy fuels, they've still held heat. The IR this morning shows a lot of heat there near the line. So those areas are the areas that you're going to expect to see that activity. Get upslope drainage winds mixed with that sun on the fuels. We're going to go back to that fuel and slope driven type of fire. So it's not going to be necessarily hitting the ground running big this morning, but expect as you get through the shift, it's going to pick up in activity, especially on those south aspects and where you have sun on there. As you get further up in the elevation, anything above about 4,500 feet in elevation, the live fuels don't want to carry real well, but don't let that be a misnomer for you. The heavy fuels still want to burn up there, and that's where we're getting those spot fires. Still some heat down in the lower sections down here, interior pockets that have some heat in there, still smoldering out, and so they will pick up an activity again with that sun on there and with the clear air. The good news is this clear air is going to be really good for air operations and aircraft in your plan today. So please take all that in consideration and have a good productive shift.
Safety Officer David Morrison.
Hey, good morning. All your safety products for today are on page 8 and 9 of your IAP. Please utilize those documents as you brief to your crews prior to doing any work on the line. We ask that you're all active participants in your own health and well-being out there on the line. So with that, please make sure you're using all your appropriate PPE for the task at hand, whether it's mop-up or fire line attack. Make sure you're wearing what you need to wear when you're wearing it. I'm going to close with speeds on the road and in camp. Drive defensively. Make sure you're keeping to the speed limit, driving in a safe manner. We've had several accidents and near accidents based solely on speed alone. There is a in-camp speed limit. There's speed limits on the roads which have been adjusted by Caltrans overnight. So make sure you're adhering to that and watching out for each other on the road.
Park Operations, Mark Brunton.
Good morning. Okay, I'm just going to tail off of what safety said. I'm going to get this right out of the way right here, right now. Unacceptable with the driving, unacceptable with the lack of PPE on the line. We're done. Zero tolerance time. Our night operations almost got taken out last night, and behind them were 2 SO deputies by somebody driving wrong side of the road, out of control, too fast. That was a sign of this incident. Not going to happen. We are going to give a full green light to law enforcement to pull you over and take appropriate actions. End of that. Moving on to our fire. Complex fire. In 1 week, we've done tremendous work. All of you have done tremendous work to take care of this issue. All right? Complexity, high level of complexity on so many levels. And you guys have performed. And we are grateful for that performance. We're down to the last bit of this fire and that Mill Creek drainage. Huge complexity on that part of the incident. That's going to take a lot of planning. It's going to take a lot of work, and we're in a lot of focus on that. There's a lot of it that we're just wrapping up, and no matter if you're in that mop-up stage, that's still a top priority for us as well. We've got to get this thing finished up so we can put all of our resources and our efforts into that last complex bit of the fire. Our number one priority on the fire today is going to be that branch 15. Number 2, branch 18. Number 3, branch 12. Okay? That's where we're focusing our efforts. We're putting together good plans. We're going to institute a good operation, and we're going to take this thing on, all right? And then we can all be done and move on to the next thing in our lives, and put these folks back home where they belong, and hopefully the closest thing to their normalcy that we can provide. No matter what level or position you are in this incident, to achieve this, we need to perform, and you're all performing at a high level. Continue that high performance level. We need that from you to achieve this goal. The British Special Air Service, their top level military operators, have a motto: who dares wins, who sweats wins, and who plans wins. And that's what it's going to take to achieve this goal. It's high level performance. So I need you to perform like champions today.
Air Operations, Matt Stanford.
Good morning. Once again, we have 1 air attack and 2 S2 tankers available this morning at early up at 0900. That means Helco will be going up early at about 8:30 to find out how clear the air is, which everyone can see the air is pretty clear. But we do have a frequency change, and I need everyone to look at the 220 on page 72 and 73. We have 1 TFR now and 2 zones. Air-to-ground command and air-to-ground tactical are your new frequencies for the whole fire, for air assets to contact air assets, whether it's Helco, air attack, or a helicopter that you need in a certain place on the fire. Air assets on 3 helibases: the Butte Zone, Chico Helibase, and the Creek MRB, Mobile Retardant Base. On the Tehama Zone, Spring Ranch Helibase and Red Bluff Helibase. And on Spring Ranch Helibase, there's the Pierce MRB available for retardant drops. The night water dropping helicopter is available upon request. The CAL FIRE Hawk is still our daytime hoist, Copter 606. Guard 840 is our nighttime hoist coming out of Reading. UAS modules work a swing shift, and they've been doing an exceptional job out there every night. PG&E is cleared to fly when Helco lets them, so they may be flying during our regular flyer hours. Have a good day. Thank you.
Communications, Corey Costa.
All right, good morning. Today's communication plan will be on page 74 for the Butte Zone, and for Tehama, page 75 of your IEP. There is a change that was just mentioned. On page 74, we've combined the air-to-ground and air-to-ground TACs from the Tehama into the Butte. So the new air-to-ground in Butte will be CDF air-to-ground 8, which is already in the Tehama, and then the air-to-ground TAC is 166.6125, tone 10, 107.2. So 1 air-to-ground and 1 air-to-ground TAC for the entire zone, okay? And that is now going to also be a clone for today, though, too. Excuse me, you will need to get cloned. Second, we've added a repeater map into your IAP. It's on page 76. And we'll just go over, on here on this is the blue diamonds, but on your IAP it is going to be black diamonds, but also we did highlight the actual repeater. So starting up in over here in branch 10 and 12 is Tuscan Butte. That's going to be NIFC Command 42. Moving on up, and that's also in the Tehama Zone. Command 41 is going to be branch 1215, that's off of Turner Mountain. NIFC Command 4 is going to be in the Tehama zone also, Mount Lassen. Moving back down over here to branch 18 and 20, it's NIFC Command 40, it's off of Colby Mountain. And then NIFC Command 39 down in the Butte zone, it's down here by branch 25 off of Sawmill. Just remember, if you're moving around the fire and you're moving in areas that maybe you're not getting out on your command that you should be, it's okay just to switch your channel in your command zone to the next command and try that. If you have any questions or concerns, please come see communications. Have a good shift.
Medical, Chris Yuri.
Today's medical plan's on page 77 in your IAP. At the bottom of the 206 is the reporting instructions. If you have any line emergencies, please brief your crews this morning on those reporting instructions. And if you do have a line emergency, please follow them. We'll get you give us the information that you have, and we'll get you the resources you need. We will have fire line EMTs, paramedics, RIMS teams, and ALS ambulances out on the line for you today. We also have CalMat and MERT here in camp and also at the Tehama base. If you have any issues, you can come see us. We're located in the building right next door, or the medical unit leaders at the Tehama base. Have a safe shift.
Logistics, Steve Doman.
Good morning, and in your IAP on page 83 and 84, you're going to find your facilities maps for the Butte base and Tehama base respectively. Also on page 86, you're going to find a QR code. In that QR code under the IAP folder, you're going to find additional documents. That includes our ground support, supply messages, service hours in both bases, as well as your hydration and fueling locations. For those resources assigned to Tehama Zone, there's been a change in an offsite fueling location. The fuel tender that was located at Payne Creek at drop point 37 has now been moved to East Highway 36 and Canyon View Loop. That's right on the division break of Tango November and Tango Quebec. And for those resources assigned to Butte Zone, the hydration trailer that was at drop point 45, that's been pushed up to drop point 34 right there at the MRB base. Thank you.
Information, Blanca McCardle.
Good morning. If you could please turn to page 78 in your IAP. I have the most recent numbers if you're clear to copy. We have acreage at 401,279. That's 401,279. Containment's at 30%. That's 30%. And total personnel is at 6,528. That's 6,528. Just to the right of the page, there are now 3 QR codes. The first one is still the California State Penal Code that allows the media to enter any scenes of a disaster. The second one's our CAL FIRE social media policy. Please become familiar with both of those. The third one is for a collection point for any videos and photos that you may have of the incident. We have a few items in Lost and Found. This includes a communication device, one which we just found here in briefing a few minutes ago, a chalk block, possibly from a type 1, and if you're still missing your license plate, please come see us. Mail service is available at both camps. Utilize the formats at the bottom of the page for your shipping label. Have a safe shift.
Finance, Christy Schaefer.
Good morning. You can find all components of the finance message on page 86 by scanning the QR code. Please report all suppression damages that you come across out there by using the damage claim QR code at the bottom of the same page. For CAL FIRE employees, today's the last day of the pay period. There's ePay Cafe set up in the Tehama and Butte Zone in the respective finance buildings. Thank you.
Butte Zone Operations, Jed Gaines.
All right, good morning. We'll start off with roll call down to the division level. Butte Deputy Operations Dyer. We've combined branch 5 and 25 today, so our leadership will be Kidwell. Here. Division Butte Bravo Matson. Here. Division Butte Victor X-Ray Zapata. Here. Division Butte Papa Tango Schneider. Here. Branch 18 Gorham. Here. And you guys can scratch Hispanic. She is going to be in the Tehama zone. Division Butte Charlie Alvarez. Division Butte Echo Carp. Here. Division Butte Foxtrot Con. Here. Branch 20 Jerry. Here. Division Butte Hotel Top. Here. Division Butte Kilo November Bacara. Here. Butte Staging Mendez. Butte Suppression Repair Taylor. Here. with Division Clemens and Davison. Butte Contingency, Boston. Okay, you heard from operations, the incident priorities. Our number one priority in the Butte zone is going to be Branch 18, okay? We're going to continue getting down into the Mill Creek drainage in there, looking for areas to get down. We had good success yesterday. We're going to also look for some alternate and contingency lines in there as well and continue improving our line along the rim of the canyon there. We need to continue good mop up, especially that Deer Creek area. We've had a lot of good success the last few days in there, so we need to hold what we had. We had a few small heat that they found last night that were mitigated outside the line. And then the Highway 32 corridor, we need to get that buttoned up. They moved the traffic control point up to 32 and Humboldt Road. We re-popped Butte Meadows yesterday. So a little more traffic in there, and we need to be diligent with safety on that road. If you're working and mopping up, make sure your code 3 lights are on, and we're getting that 300 to 500 foot depth in there that's in your work assignments on your 204. Today, the weather is going to test all the work you guys have done the last couple of days. You've heard the weather, you heard from FBAN. We need to make sure we get this stuff buttoned up and we hold all the work that you guys have done. We got a lot of folks here still. We got the National Guard Type 2 fire crews have come in yesterday. They're going to be out on the line today, so we want to thank you guys for coming in and supporting the park fire, and thank you for your service. So take advantage of all the people we have, the horsepower we got out there. There's a lot of work going on in Cohasset trying to get the infrastructure rebuilt so we can get that back to normalcy. We need to get the Make Safe operations complete in there so we can get those folks all back in there. You guys have a good day.
Okay, a couple of reminders. Division breakouts will be straight out back behind the bleachers. Unassigned resources will be over there. Cooperators meeting will be over the Harvest Building at 10 a.m. Planning meeting will be at 1700 hours in the Harvest Building. Your next operational briefing will be here tomorrow morning at 0700. It'll be a change for tomorrow. We'll be broadcasting from Tehama back down to here, so a little bit of change for tomorrow. And closing comments, IC Billy C.
All right, good morning. Obviously we got a transition day. We got weather changes out there. It's going to be hot, it's going to be dry, and we're probably going to get up canyon winds, which is going to change the fire behavior in that canyon. Last 60 days plus in the western United States, we've witnessed several large and damaging wildfires. This is just another one of those here in California. We need to be cognizant of what we're doing, where we're doing it, and why we're doing it. The issues we heard on safety concerns, major concern for me. I need everyone to take a tactical pause, reevaluate their priorities, focus on the goals at hand, and let's get back to work safely. The last thing we need is someone not coming home safe at the end of the shift. Thank you.
That concludes your operational briefing. Thank you.